Welcome, Talkin VAWLS, episode number 137. Post game, Vanderbilt, Tennessee goes into Nashville tonight. It wasn't pretty. It was actually, in my opinion, pretty downright ugly. Not a very good performance on Tennessee's end. Left me with even more questions for this basketball team. But Tennessee did come out victorious, 70-58 over the Vanderbilt Commodores, led by 21 points by Mr. Bailey, who's really been hitting it off. My name is Vols JP.
I'm Dauber.
What's going on, everybody? Let's see who we got hanging out with Talkin VAWLS crew late night. Man, this 9 o'clock tip, Dauber, is a rough one, buddy. It's rough.
It is. Be rough in the morning.
Yes, sir, it will be. We got old Cody Branch with us. Cody saying this is a great win. We are 16-0. When we're leading with 5 to go. Yeah, I saw that pop up, and then it got down to 4 points, and I was like, man, the SEC network is about ready to jinx us, but Tennessee pulled through. David Speaks saying, enjoy Springer and Johnson while you can because these kids will be going to the NBA soon. They might for sure. I don't know. Poor Keon Johnson's having a rough stretch of it right now. We got Orange Pulse with us. Says, why don't we defend a three? Actually, we defended it pretty well this year, but there in the second half, Vanderbilt was absolutely just lighting it up there. Jason Brown saying, boom. And then we've got Tracy Brown saying, Victor Bailey is playing a lot better. Wish I could say the same for Fulkerson. Yeah, for sure. It is. Dauber, initial impressions on Tennessee's 70-58 win over Vanderbilt tonight.
A W is a W at the end of the day. However, right before tip, when I saw the tweet go out from a couple media guys talking about Pippen Jr. and Dessau not playing, that's two starters, and I think there was actually a third starter that didn't play as well. But I thought, man, we should walk this game. Maybe see some guys get in and get some minutes. But nope, none of that happening because we come out and are offensively stagnant. Like you said, there's issues on this team. There's issues we've talked about all year. And I'll just be frank right now. To be 16-6, this is a bad team because of the funk that they can get in offensively, because of the stretches that they have defensively, where it looks like that they couldn't guard anybody. You got blow-bys, drives to the basket. The perimeter is just like tonight, a kick out to a wide open guy, a spot shooter, and it's just like you said. There are more questions that seem to be raised game to game, and this isn't the time of year that you want to be trying to solve stuff either.
Yeah, I mean, it was the same issues that has plagued this basketball team all year long, especially in the first half. We had, I think, 10 or 11 turnovers. Mm-hmm. Tennessee had an opportunity there to, of course, obviously they had a 10-point lead, but it was really close all the way through the first half until like the final 5 minutes there, and Tennessee was able to jump out and take that 10-point lead in half. But you have to think that if this team took care of the basketball more, certainly that they would they'd probably been a 15-point lead or something like that. And maybe that would have broke Vandy's will to come out in the second half. And, I think Tennessee got up as much as 15 at one point a couple of times. Then Vanderbilt would come back down and throw up a three. I mean, certainly have to give Vanderbilt credit, certainly with their two best players out and another starter out. They certainly fought hard and made Tennessee play the full 40 minutes for sure with that. But, it's just this game certainly does not give me any more hope than I had, or anything like that for sure. Because knowing that Pippen Jr. and that I think the Sue guy, both of those they were showing on there that both those two combined for 47% of Vanderbilt's points. And to know that Tennessee struggled tonight and only won that basketball game by 12, and it was a 4-point game with 4.5 minutes to go. I don't think that there's many Tennessee fans. Yes, it's a win, and we're always going to take a win. But there's serious issues with this basketball team, and I just don't know how that this basketball team, how anybody can have any confidence in this basketball team as we're about ready to turn the calendar over into March, when you would hope that teams were starting to actually gel and starting to play their best basketball. But I'm not sure what's going on down there, Dauber. I know right before that we went live, I kind of mentioned I'm starting to think that there's some chemistry issues, and I can't believe I'm saying that, because I know that we sat here when this season started a couple of months ago, and Tennessee was 10-0, and talking about how that it was so impressive that this team was playing selfless basketball, and that these freshmen had bought in. But it's almost like that they're not having fun. But I almost think that there is a serious lack of leadership on this basketball team as well. It's eerily similar to that football team.
Oh man, I think you're dead on with something. We talked, like you said, early in the year, how they were selfless, how everybody seemed to be pulling the weight together. But we've also talked the last couple of weeks about the lack of an alpha, the lack of a true team leader, the go-to guy. BT Hill saying Bailey's stepping up. Yeah. The last couple of games, Bailey has emerged.
Yeah, he's certainly. They don't win that game tonight without Bailey.
Yeah,
they don't.
So but where was that at the beginning of the year? I think it is still a thing that I talked about early in the year. This team needed to find their identity. This team needed to find what they wanted to do. They're still messing around with the lineup, partly due to injury. It was good to see James back in the lineup. When we saw Springer the last minute or so of the game seemed to be frustrated and kind of pushing guys away. You saw who came up to him, threw his arm around and patted him on the head there. It was James. And I think that he's a guy that, especially against Kentucky, they missed having on the floor because he keeps the two young guys level-headed and composed. But man, I don't know. It's just the one thing that this team is consistently good at is being inconsistent.
Yeah. I know it. And JJ Banks, leaving that up there, he's saying, I really thought Pons would have stepped up this year and been the vocal leader. And, I think Cody Branch saying, that he can barely speak English and so forth like that. But still, I think that, to me, that's one of the most disappointing things with this basketball team is certainly the play of Pons and Fulkerson. And, maybe there is something there. I know that TV announcers tonight were alluding, obviously, that Fulkerson has had some things going on. I think they were insinuating probably COVID with that. He does look like, and he's looked like all year long as far as he goes, that he struggled to catch his breath. It's almost like that every time, that they stop, that he's, over there, laboring hard. really even early into the game. Certainly maybe that's got something to do with it, but certainly he's been off this year. I think he finished with 4 points tonight. I think Pons is probably hurt. I think that his knee, that's one thing that I hadn't really thought about, but of course, obviously last year Pons was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year, and starting out the season, he was blocking shots again, and we were talking about just how important he was on the defensive end, but we really haven't seen that much. I know tonight I think he had a couple of blocks and stuff like that, but he just doesn't seem to have the explosiveness that he's had either. So, maybe there's things that we don't know about looking from the outside, but it's been disappointing to me to have two fifth-year seniors that have played a lot of basketball down there, and this team just continues to struggle. And Vescovi's struggling. He only scored three points tonight. I think he's got three points in the last two games. Tennessee needs Vescovi to score 10, 12 points a game at least. So it's tough. It's tough for sure.
Yeah, and the other thing tonight, turnovers. Man, just not protecting the ball, sloppy, lazy passes, which led to Vanderbilt's hanging around with a three. That's what kept them in the game, was the threes that they hit.
I know we got BT Hill saying Pons 10 points and 10 rebounds. Cody saying, double night. I understand it, guys. I do. But still, Vanderbilt was without three starters. Tennessee should have dominated that basketball game. That should have been a 20-point plus win. And, a win is a win. I understand that, and I'll take it. But you cannot sit here and tell me that you feel good about that win tonight, knowing how bad that Vanderbilt is anyway, and then considering the fact that almost 50% of their yearly offense, their yearly points, wasn't even playing, and then they had another starter that wasn't playing. I'm sorry, but I'm not feeling good.
Well, here's the thing. The tournament and March is about getting hot and going on a run, and I just don't have the confidence that this team can play consistent enough to go on a run of more than 2 games.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know that Auburn is struggling, but I'm telling you right now, I have zero confidence that Tennessee goes down to the Plains Saturday and beats Auburn. Zero. And I know that Florida beat the brakes off of them last night, I think by about 20 points. And I know that they've been struggling. I think that they got some injury issues that are going on too. But we've seen it, and we've played enough games this season to at this point in time. I just don't have any expectations at all with this basketball team. Zero.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I've expected so much more from this team, and like I said, the only thing that they are consistent at is being inconsistent. And we've talked about it, not just game to game, but half to half, possession to possession. There was another couple of, I think almost a 6.5 minute drought offensively.
Mm-hmm.
It's just stagnant. It's like they want to run a weave at the top and wait for somebody to get a halfway open 3-point attempt, and when those aren't dropping, we're not scoring. Nobody is looking to be aggressive and drive to the basket. I thought early on, Fulkerson had Um,
He started out tough. Started out good.
2 points real quick, and I thought, okay, they're going to get him going. They're going to try to run the ball into the paint, and then
He ended
just
up in
run
foul
away with
trouble.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Completely took him out of the game.
then you had I think Pember came in, and
Just
let's
missed a
face,
wide open bunny shot. Wide open bunny
yeah,
shot.
When we have certain lineups on the floor, it's almost like you're playing a man down because you've got guys out there that are not looking to create offensively at all. They're receiving a pass and turning their head to find somebody else to pass it to.
Yeah.
It's
One
I
other
don't know.
thing with this basketball team, Dauber, to me, this has to be one of the worst fast break teams that I've ever seen. I mean, they cannot finish a fast break. It's a
Yeah.
turnover or a charge just about every single time. I mean, poor O'Keon Johnson. I mean, he turns it over like crazy on those fast breaks. I mean, the kid is so fast and so athletic, but his ball handling skills definitely needs some improvement. But every time that they get a run out, and trust me, it's not a lot because it is rare that this team gets a run out, and maybe that's the problem. Maybe that they're not used to doing it, but every time that they do, it never turns into points. I mean, and this team, I don't know if I've ever seen a team miss so many just shots within 4 to 5 foot of the goal. I mean, they can't finish. The team can't finish at the rim. They cannot finish. It's maddening. It's maddening to watch.
John Baxter throws up a good point talking about Commonwealth.
Come on.
Yeah, he had, I think, 2 quick buckets. Played hard for a couple minutes. I think drew a charge, and then didn't see him the rest of the night. It's just interesting. He's one of the guys that hasn't seen the court a whole lot. Comes in and is being pretty productive in the few minutes that he's in, and then disappears.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just we've kind of questioned Barnes a few times after some games and questionable coaching decisions, but it's baffling a little bit that you've got somebody being productive, and then like you have Fulkerson in there who's basically taking up a spot right now because
just don't have any kind of post presence at all.
He's not being productive.
No.
I don't know.
I still wish that like we talked about Saturday on the post game show, playing James down at the 4 and putting Pons at the 5 and running Keon Springer and Bailey. I'd do it. I mean, especially, tonight, in my opinion, would have been a perfect night to try that out at least to see. But I don't recall us ever having that offense out there or that lineup out there. So, but yeah, I know that there's been people say that that there's several players on this team that really aren't SEC caliber, and I don't ever want to talk about any of these kids or whatever, but there's certainly a huge drop off. Once you get below, about the sixth or seventh player, we're just not getting anything from any kind of post. I know, like I said, Kama had a couple of good, baskets there, and they take him out. But still, where was Anasiki at?
I don't.
It's almost like that. I mean, it's almost like that. He's totally forgotten at this point. So we're not getting anything out of him at all. Of course, Euros, we're not getting anything out of. You have to think that more than likely that it's going to be difficult for him to ever be able to contribute on a regular basis. The lack of a post player is really, really hampering Barnes and the ability to get this program and to get this team this year, certainly, to where that many people thought that they could be for sure. We got Caleb Eddie saying we're only allowing 62 points a game, though. And that's true. It's certainly true. And that's what is so maddening to me, that we're sitting here at 16-6, 8-6 in the conference, and going to have to more than likely, based on the seeding pairings for the SEC tournament, we're going to have to play on the second day.
Yeah.
So because this team is only giving up 62 points a game, but we've somehow found a way to lose 6 conference games.
You want to know why?
Because we can't score, because our offense is horrible.
Did you see the one graphic they put up? Talking about the last 5 wins, averaging 80 points a game. The last 5 losses, averaging 56 points a game.
Yeah,
right there's your answer. Because we go so cold and can't hit the broadside of a barn door, and we're missing wide open layups, we're missing putbacks, missing foul shots. You can't do that and expect to win games. You can't score. What they score 17 points in the second half against Kentucky?
Yeah.
I mean, the baseball team scored more runs yesterday than the basketball team scored in the second half against Kentucky. It's just one of those things. You've got to. It doesn't matter how good the defense is if you're not scoring points. That's the name of the game. You got to score more than the other team.
I know, and that's what's frustrating to me with this basketball team, is just the inability for them to get any kind of consistency at all on the offensive end. This team is going to have to find a way, if they're going to make any kind of run at all. They're going to have to find a way to get more consistent play from Fulkerson, and they're going to have to get Vescovi going, and they are going to have to find some way to limit these turnovers. They have got to do those 3 things, in my opinion, to have any type of shot at making any type of significant run, because I'm feeling it. I mean, I am certainly feeling it. This team is done on the first weekend of the NCAA tournament. I don't see any way that they make it past the second round.
The other thing to look at, though, is rebounding. When we faced a team that has beat us on the glass, it usually turns out not so well in the win-loss column.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But, we just don't have any kind of post players, though. Fulkerson is just not built to get down there and grab those rebounds, and whatever's going on with him, he's just not the same Fulkerson that we've saw the last couple of years, where he's diving and jumping over chairs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I know that he's had his moments, but I think everybody admits that there's something off there with that. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. Still haven't heard about the makeup games. As far as everything that I've saw is, Saturday against Auburn is the last regular season game that's scheduled. I know that they've still got or that they've still got a makeup game with Florida and South Carolina, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right, Dauber?
Yes. Those were games that were postponed.
Yes.
We'll see if they I'd said last time we were on, I'd seen something about they were going to, I guess the conference was going to look at the possibility of adding in games and potentially like a Monday or a Thursday game, depending on travel arrangements and all of that, if they needed to.
Yeah. Yeah. John London saying Pons just needs to keep his butt 15 feet and in. I agree. I mean, I don't understand some of or many of our offensive sets. I just don't understand those. I just think that Pons has the athletic ability to make moves on those players. I think that he can drive, but there's just too many times that he's out there behind the arc, and either he doesn't drive or he ends up just passing it still.
Look at that one blow by he had on the baseline tonight for a dunk.
I know.
I mean, and the other thing, when he's hanging out that far away from the rim, that's one less body in there to rebound.
Yeah. I agree. But evidently that's what Barnes wants, because I mean we've seen it all year long. So that must be the offensive set that Barnes likes for sure. Banks is asking why Barnes can't recruit a big post guy. I think that's the $1 million question. I think it is, and I saw something there. I think Rob Lewis had mentioned there a week or so ago, but he didn't sound very, very enthused about Corey Walker Jr. either. Sounded maybe like that he wasn't in favor with Barnes. So if just speculating here, but if something happens with him and he ends up transferring, I mean that's just another forward low post player that has ended up leaving the program. Of course, obviously just speculating with that, but the way that he said that didn't sound very, very promising for sure with that. So looks like Arkansas beat Bama tonight, David's saying. Bama's kind of started struggling a little bit there too. They've lost a few games. Missouri has lost a few games. Ole Miss has been playing decent basketball, and of course, everybody's still saying that Kentucky could end up, peaking and winning that tournament, and I wouldn't be shocked at all. I would not be shocked at all, for sure.
That'd be something else.
Yeah, I know it is for sure. Before we get any further with this, let me mention our merchandise. Let me pull it up here and just give a quick mention on the merchandise. Something went wrong on our end. What's that mean? I'm not for sure. But we got some new shirts. The Talkin VAWLS shirt, the Mount Rushmore of Tennessee media. We got the new T-shirt out, so if you're interested in that, and of course we got our regular normal stuff, our Talkin VAWLS shirts, hoodies, the basketball shirt, and then we got a coffee mug as well on there. So if anybody's interested in that, that's on bonfire.com. After this live feed's over with, if you're interested in it, we'll have it also on our description on the once it uploads to YouTube. So if anybody's interested in any of that, really, really comfortable shirts, hoodies, some really good products there. So I'll just mention that on there. So Dauber, any other comments, anything you got as Tennessee looks to possibly finish out the regular season on Saturday against Auburn?
No, hope that they can pick up the win down there and get one or two in the tournament. Get to that magic 20. That'd be good. But I don't know. be a tough road to hoe, I believe.
Yeah, I know. And sounds like, well, of course, I don't know if Auburn's scheduled to play any games after that or not, because there's several SEC games on the slate the first week of March, but both teams that Tennessee needs to make games up with, Florida and South Carolina, are already scheduled to play those two nights, Tuesday and Wednesday night, the first week of March, I guess next week. But so I'm assuming that's why, obviously, that Tennessee's not scheduled to play right now, but we'll see. But I'm not sure about Auburn. Of course, they're not eligible for the conference tournament, so Auburn's season is about to end. So for sure, but yeah, and I hope that we can defend the three better, because for a fact that a Bruce Pearl team is going to jack up the threes. There's no doubt about it, for sure. So for sure, but with that, but I think that's going to do it for tonight. Late night with Talkin VAWLS. So we certainly appreciate everybody tuning in. Indy Kid will be back this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, with the Orange Blazer. He'll recap, give his thoughts on the Tennessee 70-58 win over Vanderbilt tonight, and then also recap Saturday's game against Auburn, and we'll just see what the SEC ends up doing as far as rescheduling those games. But just as soon as we find out, I'm sure that Dauber and I, and probably Indy Kid, will join us as well for the next post game episode. Hopefully one day next week, possibly, with that. But until then, Dauber, any other lasting final comments tonight?
Nope. Go Big Orange.
All right. Well, we certainly appreciate everybody staying up late with us tonight as Tennessee improves to 16-6 on the season, and as they beat Vanderbilt 70-58 in Nashville. Until then, hope everybody has a good evening, and go Vols.
Soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this inundated orb that we draw home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive. The dogs howl like me, poets sat in our chains, soaking moonlit smashed like a broken